verge of achieving something very special, and they need our help to make their dreams come true.
Shannon Morgan is a sophomore at Cactus High School. She is one of 11 16-year-olds who make up this North Valley volleyball team.
Pass the setter, set across.
Their coach is putting them through strenuous workouts on this spring break. That's because the girls have a chance to compete at the national championships. We say chance because this important event is being held all the way in Florida in July.
The Tampa trip will be the biggest expense, and that tab will be in the neighborhood of $7,500 to go there 1 week for 11 athletes and stay 7 nights.
And because of travel costs, the girls seek public and private sponsors.
I want to get a job and everything, but it's really hard, and so my mom has to pay for everything, and I feel bad about that because it's a lot for her to pay for.
This trip is important to the team not only because they are the only Valley team to represent Arizona in the junior championships, but there will be many college scouts there, and the girls hope this will open the door to college scholarships.
Everybody's out there looking for a scholarship, and there's not enough kids really to go around for all the scholarships, so it's real serious competition. You have to just put your whole heart into it and pray for it.
Well, the North Valley Juniors volleyball program stresses academics. All these girls must attain at least a 3.6 grade point average. That's a B+. And like I said, they seek sponsors. And if you're interested, you can call Dr. Richard Rickmeyer at 979-7555.
It's extra. All of these young ladies turn in some great grades. It's almost sickening. Many play a sport, or they play 2 at the school they attend. They're also involved in extracurricular activities, and yet they still have time to get together a couple of times a week to play volleyball. And in turn, they make up one of the best teams in the nation.
These young ladies are out for the kill. A few volleyball kills, that is. The North Valley Junior Volleyball Team. 15 and 16-year-old girls, high school standouts from throughout the Valley, making up an all-star team of sorts.
These kids, they want more out of volleyball than just their high school season. What it amounts to is an all-star team because kids come from all over the Valley and they try out and they already have good skills, and we just be able to take it to a different level.
The goals of the club is to participate in various tournaments. They get heavily scouted by colleges, may get a college scholarship, may mean the difference between a college education or not. And secondly, it channels all these kids' energies in a positive direction.
In just their 4th year of existence, the North Valley Juniors have already made a trip to the National Junior Olympic Tournament. Last year, the lone representative from Arizona.
We like to get it known to other states that Arizona plays volleyball too, you know, not just California and the other states that are real popular with it. It's like a challenge, I think it's going to be, and it's a privilege to go back, you know, because not a lot of people are going to go from Arizona, just us. And it's going to be hard, I think, but it'll be a lot of fun.
Last year's Junior Olympic tournament took place in El Paso, a relatively easy shot from Phoenix. This year, Tampa. A little more distance, and as you might imagine, a lot more money.
The bottom line for the Tampa trip, which is in July 1st, July 1 through 7, is about $7,500, and that's 7 nights and 11 kids. And we think it's important to represent the state, but it is a huge tab, and we're seeking corporate and private donations. It's tax deductible, and if they care to call me and talk to me further about it, I'd be more than happy to do that.
Well, here's that phone number, 979-7555. Pretty easy number, 979-7555. If you didn't get a chance to write it down, call me at the station. I've got the number. I'll give it to you. We need to raise some money for those great girls.
Indeed. Thanks.
Prevention is worth a pound of cure, and preventing problems is a goal of a girls' volleyball program here in the Valley. The team is the North Valley Juniors, a nonprofit group and member of the U.S. Volleyball Association Junior Olympic Program. The 11 players represent 5 area high schools, and Coach Levin Eubank has helped make this team a national title contender. The North Valley Juniors have won nearly 80% of their games, and these girls are also scholars. The team's average grade point is 3.6. The program's purpose is twofold: to maximize exposure to college coaches, which can translate into scholarships, and to develop outstanding young citizens.
The gals channel their energies in a positive direction rather than be involved with drug abuse and that sort of thing. So it's a very positive type program.
Well, last year this team was the first and only one from Arizona to compete in the National Junior Olympic Championships, and it's headed there again this summer.
I'm very excited because we're going to meet teams from and play teams from different
states, all across the nation, and the love competition will be very high.
Everyone just tries 100%, and it's a lot of fun too. We're all really good friends off the court too, so it really helps.
A week-long trip to Florida, however, is very expensive, and the team could use some help. If you'd like to assist through a tax-deductible donation, contact Dr. Dick Reckmeyer at that number, 979-7555.
Nice story. Thank you. Welcome back. I'm Dolores Tropiano. While 6,000 young men and women overcome their mental handicaps to compete in the Special Olympics, girls from high schools around the Valley face their own challenges in getting to the National Junior Olympic Volleyball Championships in Tampa, a challenge that may mean getting a college education. And joining right now to talk about their challenges, Dr. Richard Reckmeyer. He's a spokesman for the North Valley Juniors, and Rebecca Wallstrom, an athlete with the North Valley Juniors. Thank you both for being here this morning.
Thank you for having us.
Before we go on and talk about your challenges, who are the North Valley Juniors?
The North Valley Juniors is a non-profit organization. It's a member of the United States Volleyball Association Junior Olympic Program, and it's primarily based in the Northwest Valley. We have 11 athletes on our team from 5 high schools in the area: Cactus, Deer Valley, Horizon, Sunny Slope, and Goldwater. It originally started about 4 years ago. Most of the clubs are about 10 to 15 years old, and we're only 4 years old. Last year, in its 3rd year, we were the only team, the first and only team, to represent the state of Arizona in the national championships. So we're delighted about that in its infancy to do that.
Now, I understand that the team was actually formed by a coach, Coach Levin, and who was kind of frustrated by the fact that the girls were always the last to get everything. Tell me a little bit about his frustrations.
Levin's philosophy goes back a few years. He feels that the gals are always the last ones to get the gyms cleaned up, the last ones to have a good trainer on hand in the high schools. Women's discrimination, if you will. And volleyball is one of the areas that the women can excel in. He took to that, and he was a volleyball player himself. And his philosophy is really neat in the fact that he does not ask the gals to take time away from school rather than supplement their school activities. He always feels that school should come first, which I totally agree with.
And he's been very successful with his
Yes, he took him to the national championships last year. The problem was it was in Albuquerque, which is fairly short distance. This year they're in Tampa, Florida, from July 1st through 7th. But another part of his philosophy that really is neat is that he works one-on-one with the kids. He doesn't yell at them or scream at them. And he's very, very good about talking to their high school coaches to integrate what they've learned on the off season, if you will, to help their high school coach during the regular season.
Okay. And Rebecca, you've been with the team, what, a year?
This is my 1st year.
Okay. What made you decide to go out for a volleyball team?
Well, some of my friends on the Cactus team encouraged me, and then I like volleyball a lot, and it has a lot of skills I'd like to improve on.
Like what?
My vertical jump, for one, and just like hitting and stuff.
Now, we're talking about the coach and how successful he is. Why do you think he's a good coach? What do you think makes him a good coach?
One of his best qualities is probably his understanding. He knows, like, if we're having a good game or bad game, he knows. He doesn't just pull us out like that, and he has a real feel for what we feel.
He's real understanding with you.
Yeah.
And he works with you. Okay. You feel that in addition to the athletic benefits, that their participation in this team has other benefits as well. Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, there's 2 goals or 2 neat things about the program that I see. One is they participate in a lot of national tournaments. We've been to Las Vegas. There was one here in Tempe. And one of the goals of that is to get the kids exposed to college scouting. This is a huge source of scouting for the colleges.
Okay, we're going to talk about that in a minute, but in terms of their preventative...
Okay, the other one is, as a health professional, it makes a lot of sense to me to support programs that prevent problems and treat problems. And I'm into prevention, and I totally agree with that. It keeps the gals' energies channeled in a positive direction. It eliminates temptations of unwanted pregnancies or suicides or drugs or that sort of thing. So I totally endorse that part of it for sure.
Keeps you busy.
Yeah.
You have a lot of time you spend practicing?
Yeah.
How much practice do you have to put in?
Well, lots of nights they'll practice like on Tuesday and like Thursday for 2 hours, but I usually have basketball games. So right now I'm missing those, but like their Saturday we have a 5-hour practice. And then on weekends when we have tournaments, it's the whole day.
It really keeps them out of trouble. It's good to see you here. Your father, participate. I know your daughter is on the team. What is it about this team that has made you come out and become a spokesman for it? That's kind of interesting to see.
Well, that's a good question. My original intent was to contact corporations for corporate donations, one-on-one, because $7,500 is the tab to go to Tampa. That's 11 athletes and 7 nights. 72% of our monies come from the parents, and in some cases that's pretty hard to come up with. They're either from a single parent situation or whatever. So I just took it upon myself to call the various corporations, and that's a tough nut. So we're blitzing the media, if you will, in hopes that someone out there may listen to us and feel it in their heart to make a tax-deductible contribution to basically defray the cost of the trip. So, in some cases, these kids could get a college scholarship from their participation in the tournaments, and in some cases that may be the difference between them going to college or not, because as we all know, college is not a cheap thing anymore.
Okay, why does this opportunity give them why might it help them to get a scholarship? I mean, what happens there? Tell us.
What happens in the national tournaments is that, for example, in Tampa, there will be 5,000 athletes there and 260 college scouts. And this is a tremendous area for the scouts to come and watch the players. They look at the vertical, like Rebecca mentioned. They look at any little thing that they can look at, and then they have an opportunity to have this whole bunch of people there in front of them to scout. So it's a really neat thing for them to do. And in exchange, it's a possibility of getting a college scholarship. We've been contacted by several Division I schools already, and I think that's important that they participate in that, to at least get the exposure to college scouting.
Why is getting a college scholarship particularly important to you?
Because it provides money, and I personally want to be a doctor, and so that's a lot of years of schooling. And if I don't get money there, then I'm not going to be able to pay for all of it.
Okay, so it definitely will help you with your education. You already know you want to be a doctor.
Yeah.
What kind of doctor?
Pediatrician.
Well, she said, huh?
All right.
Okay. How much money do you have right now? Well, let's talk a little bit about some of your needs. Where are you at with this?
Well, the biggest bill is the $7,500 to go to Tampa. To date, as...
$7,500 per?
No, $7,500 covers the 11 athletes,
okay,
and the 7 days there.
Okay.
To date, we've got an outside contribution of $500 from the Thunderbird Foundation as of just yesterday, which we do thank them for that. We're involved in many fundraisers, the typical car wash, the concessions at the tournaments, and that sort of thing. We're raising some money there, but we're far short of our goal. Basically, if we don't have things come in at this point, we'll be asking each parent to contribute about $700 per athlete.
Really?
We've sent in an application to the Women's Sports Foundation, which is out of New York City, a foundation that was started by Billie Jean King and has Martina Navratilova and Chris Everett on their board. We should hear from them on the 15th of June. That's a long shot. Obviously, a lot of other people apply to that, and that's for $3,000, but we don't know about that yet, and it is a long shot. So at this point, we're hoping that exposure from Channel 45 and some of the various newspapers we've been in will help bring out some people out of the woodwork, so to speak. If not, it'll be basically parental input.
Really? Will it, if they don't get the money, will it mean that some of the girls can't go, or does the whole team have to go?
Levin tells me that he can play with 8. We put 6 on the floor. We can play with 8. 9's comfortable, but if we don't get the money raised, that's a possibility that 2 or 3 gals may not be able to go because they don't have enough money to go. And we have some injuries right now, so we started out with 11. We have 9 available, and we lose 1 or 2 people, and it's going to be cutting it pretty thin.
Okay. And when do they have to have the money by? When do you have to have the money by?
Well, as soon as possible, certainly, but July 1 through 7 is the tournament. If we get it on the last day of June, that's fine. We'd rather not wait that long, but the parents are going to be asked to be committing their funds probably as early as next week.
Okay. We're going to put a phone number on the screen. If we've pulled on anyone's heartstrings enough at this point, for the North Valley Juniors, they could give you a call. The number is 979-7555. It's 979-7555. Someone calls up, they could, any particular kinds of contributions, you'll take, I guess, anything from...
We've had several people come forward with ideas for fundraisers, in addition to different ideas for that, and we're certainly open to that. We're going to have a raffle. We've got like a free weekend at the Point, and some things that have come in as sort of a back wave of our initial efforts from my contacting the corporations, and we're hoping that will raise some things. We'll be in one of the shopping malls and that sort of thing. And so we're open to any suggestions. Obviously, it's easier to get the money straightforward, but if not, we'll try anything that anybody's going to suggest to me. I'm a novice. I'm not a professional fundraiser. So
you've been doing pretty good at it, it looks like.
So it's been fun.
Okay. And you have, did you go to the championships last year?
No.
No, so this will be your first?
Yeah.
Okay. Are you excited about it?
Yeah.
Okay. In closing, once again, why is it important for people to make contributions to the North Valley Juniors?
Well, from a personal standpoint, it's supporting a program that's preventive. It's not supporting drug abuse. It's not supporting unwanted pregnancies. It's supporting a program that prevents problems. It's a lot more healthier, and it's an excellent image for the community to have, and it's certainly a lot more cost-effective to support prevention. I think, secondly, you're helping a 16-year-old participate in a tournament that could mean the difference between a college education or not, depending on the tournament and stuff. So I think those two areas are really important. And
the benefits to a contributor in terms of a corporate person?
It's tax deductible. We're a 501c3, for those of you who may know what that is. It's a tax deductible contribution, and that's the one thing I'm hearing the most. Are you a 501c3? Mm-hmm. And we are, and we're a nonprofit, and it's a write-off for them. But like in some situations, we've heard, gee, we've never done that before. There's two strikes against us. One is volleyball, which is not very well known, although it's one of the fastest rising sports in the country. And secondly, it's a women's sport. And those are the two strikes we're battling at this point.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And Rebecca, your final words. Why is it important for someone to make a contribution to the North Valley Juniors?
Because we really need the money, and I know that if I don't get enough money, then I can't go. And we've thought about Chicago and Washington, D.C. tournaments, but chances are those won't happen. But nationals is most important to us.
We want to see her become a doctor.
Right.
Great. Okay. Thank you both for joining us tonight. I'm gonna give one last put the phone number on the screen another time for anyone who might have missed it the first time. It's North Valley Juniors, 979-7555. Rebecca, I hope you get there. I wish you a lot of luck, and I wish you a lot of luck in your career and in your college education. And Dr. Reckmeyer, thank you also for joining us this morning.
Thank you very much.
Becoming a great fundraiser.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us this morning on the Phoenix File. I'm Dolores Tropiano.
Second here, the United States Volleyball Association Junior Olympic National Championships get underway the week of July 1st through the 7th, and for the second year in a row, the North Valley Juniors will represent Arizona in the national tournament. Joining me now to give us a little better insight on this tournament is team spokesman Richard Rickmeyer and team member Shannon Morgan. Shannon, first of all, I know you want to go to those nationals. Money is a big factor, is it not?
Yes, it is. It's going to cost us a lot of money, and our parents usually have to fork out all the money, so it's pretty hard.
What is the next step after the nationals? I mean, what would happen if you won those?
Well, I don't know, really. Nationals is the last tournament, so then that's the end of the season.
So you just want to win it and hope down the road you can even do more. This is the second time they go back. Dr. Rickmeyer, what are your thoughts about the kids? Are they that good? Can they go back and get the job done again?
Well, I think they're going to be very competitive. I think one of the answers to your question is that there's a real good possibility some of these kids could get scholarships. Shannon's a good example. She comes from a single-parent situation. She's an excellent athlete. If she gets a scholarship to go to college, that could be the difference between her going to school or not. And so there's going to be 260 scouts there. It's a huge captive audience for the colleges right now, and about 5,000 athletes there, and so that's one of the purposes of going, certainly, and also to represent our state.
Okay, let's give you, we've got a full-page graph to give you an idea of, you'd like to help You can do this assuming they're going to stay 7 nights, 12 athletes. Airfare is $5,000, a little over that. Lodging a little over $1,000. Transportation $600. They need $7,584 to make the trip in July. Just call 979-7555 if you'd like to help. 979-7555. Doctor, we thank you much. Shannon, we thank you much and wish you the very best of luck.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us. All right. Yeah.